Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive, and this time we're tackling something I think we all want a little more of: confidence.
That's right. And it's interesting because you provided us with some pretty cool research on simple tricks to boost confidence, like immediately.
Oh, yeah, and that's what I'm really excited to dive into. I know our listeners are busy people, so I want them to be able to walk away from this and actually use something today. Like practical takeaways they can apply right away.
I love that approach. And a lot of these techniques are really rooted in this idea of the mind-body connection.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
We tend to think of confidence as like purely mental thing, but
Right, yeah, in your head.
but how we hold ourselves physically, like our posture and body language, that actually sends signals to our brain that can really influence how confident we feel.
Oh, that makes sense. Like, I know when I'm feeling nervous or stressed, I tend to like hunch over
Yeah, exactly.
and it just makes me feel worse.
Exactly. And that's where this first technique comes in, and it's called power posing.
Power posing.
Okay. Have you heard of this?
I think so, but remind me.
Okay, so it might sound a little strange at first, but
Yeah.
research has shown that simply holding a powerful posture, even for just a couple of minutes, it can actually shift your hormones
Wow.
and make you feel more confident.
No way.
Yes.
Seriously, just standing a certain way can change how I feel inside.
Yep. There was this fascinating study done at Harvard,
Okay.
and they found that power posing for just 2 minutes,
Okay.
increased testosterone levels by 20%
Wow.
and decreased cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone, by 25%.
Wow. Okay, that's incredible. So I'm picturing like superheroes or something. But like, what exactly does a power pose look like?
All right, well, think Wonder Woman.
Okay, yeah.
Standing tall, feet apart, hands on her hips, chin lifted.
Yeah, okay, I can see it.
Or you can even just imagine, like, leaning back in your chair, arms spread wide, like you just own the place.
Oh, yeah, like a boss.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that. I'm totally going to try that before my next like big presentation or job interview.
Yes.
It's like almost tricking your brain into feeling more confident.
Yeah. That's such a good way to put it. And actually, that leads us perfectly into the next technique.
Okay, I'm ready.
This one is often called the as if technique.
As if? Okay, you have to explain that one.
All right. So this one's all about acting as if you already are confident.
Yeah.
The idea is that by changing your behavior, things like smiling, making eye contact, speaking up more assertively, you can actually change how you feel internally. It's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, so fake it till you make it.
Kind of, yeah.
I like that. So you're saying if I walk into a room and pretend I'm the most confident person there, I'll actually start to believe it.
Yeah, exactly. You're basically sending signals to your brain that, hey, you're in control here.
Right.
And over time, your brain starts to accept that. And you know what? It's not just about how you feel, it's also how other people perceive you.
Right.
So when you act confidently, people respond to you differently. And that can actually further boost your confidence. It's a win-win.
I like that. It's like this whole chain reaction,
Totally.
It's making me realize how much power we actually have to like shape our own reality just by changing our actions.
Absolutely. It's like you're taking control of the narrative in your own head, right?
Yes, exactly. Okay, so this is all about mindset, but then there's that other side, right?
Right.
Like that voice in our head that tells us we can't do something or that we're not good enough.
Yes. The negative self-talk.
Yeah, tell me about it. That inner critic can be a real confidence killer.
Oh, for sure. And we all have that inner critic to some extent, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I do, at least.
But the key is to become aware of those negative thoughts.
Yeah.
To actually catch yourself when you're thinking them and then consciously replace them with positive affirmations.
Positive affirmations. Okay. So like those little pep talks you give yourself in the mirror.
Exactly. Instead of saying, I can't do this, try saying something like, I am capable, or I am prepared, or even I am worthy.
Right.
It might feel a little silly at first.
Yeah.
But over time, those positive affirmations can really like rewire your brain
Okay.
and actually boost your self-belief.
I like that. So it's almost like we're replacing those old negative tapes in our head with more empowering messages.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. This reminds me of another technique I've heard about, visualization.
Oh, visualization. Yeah. That's a good one.
Isn't that something like athletes use to improve their performance?
Yeah. Athletes use it, entrepreneurs use it, artists,
Really? Wow.
all sorts of people. It's basically about creating a mental rehearsal for success.
Okay, so let's say I'm nervous about a job interview.
Yeah.
I could close my eyes
Yeah.
and actually picture myself walking into the room, feeling confident, answering the questions clearly,
Yeah, exactly.
and like totally nailing the interview.
That's it. And, the more vivid and detailed you can make that visualization, the more effective it will be. Engage all your senses. What are you seeing, hearing, feeling? Maybe even what do you smell? And the most important part,
Okay.
visualize yourself succeeding. Really feel it.
I get it. Like really get into it. It's almost like giving your brain a sneak peek of what it feels like to win.
Exactly.
And then when you're in the actual situation, it's not so scary because you've already kind of been there in your mind. Right?
Yeah.
This is so cool. Yeah, I could see how that could help boost confidence in so many different situations.
It's a fantastic tool. It's like having another tool in your confidence toolkit, right?
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, talking about all this confidence stuff is getting me a little fired up.
Yeah.
But I know sometimes when we get nervous,
Yeah.
our bodies, they kind of betray us.
You mean things like sweaty palms and...
Oh, yeah. Or like your heart starts racing,
Yeah.
I definitely know those feelings.
Oh, yeah. Me too. And that's where the next technique comes in. Deep, controlled breathing.
Oh, yeah. Deep breaths, good old fashioned deep breaths.
Yeah. My yoga teacher is always telling me to breathe.
Right.
But there's a good reason for that.
Yeah.
Because when we get stressed or anxious, our breathing gets really shallow and rapid.
Yeah.
And that actually triggers our fight or flight response.
Oh, wow.
Which leads to those, uncomfortable physical symptoms.
Right.
But when we slow down our breathing, like really consciously slow it down, we're basically sending a signal to our body that everything's okay.
Oh, so it's like a way to hack our nervous system.
Totally.
To calm ourselves down. That's so cool. Okay, give me a breathing exercise. I'm ready.
Okay, all right. So a simple one that you can try is the 4-4-4 breath. So you inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4.
Okay.
You hold your breath for 4, and then you exhale slowly through your mouth for 4.
Okay. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I already feel calmer just thinking about it.
Right. It's amazing, right?
It really is. So simple, but so powerful.
Yeah.
And you can use this anywhere, anytime, right?
Anywhere, anytime. Just a few deep breaths to, calm your nerves and regain your composure.
It's like having this secret weapon against anxiety.
It really is. It's amazing. And speaking of secrets, let's move on to a technique that's all about how you present yourself to the world.
Ooh, okay. Is this about dressing for success? I love a good presentation tip.
Well, kind of. It's not really about wearing expensive clothes or trying to impress anyone.
Oh, okay.
It's about wearing clothes that make you feel good.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking about dress for confidence here.
I like it. So if I feel most confident in like jeans and a t-shirt, that's what I should wear.
Yes, absolutely. The key is to wear what reflects your personal style and makes you feel confident and comfortable in your own skin.
I am all about comfort. Maybe that's why I live in athleisure wear.
Totally. It's about finding what works for you,
Yeah.
what makes you feel your best.
Right.
And when you feel good in what you're wearing, it just boosts your confidence. It can even affect how you carry yourself.
I like that. Confidence from the inside out.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so it's not about, trying to fit into some mold of what we think confidence should look like.
Right.
It's about finding what makes you feel authentically confident. I love that.
Yes. And that actually leads us to our next technique, which is about shifting our focus inward.
Okay, inward, I'm ready.
All right. This one is called Strength Spotlight, and it's a super simple but really effective way to boost self-belief. When you're feeling, a little insecure or doubting yourself, take a moment and think about your strengths, your past successes.
So it's like a mental highlight reel of all the times you've rocked it.
Exactly. It's a way to reframe your perspective, shift your attention away from all that self-doubt,
Right. Yeah.
and just remind yourself of all the awesome things you've already accomplished.
I love that. I'm definitely going to try that next time I'm feeling a little down on myself.
I think you'll be surprised how well it works. And speaking of powerful shifts, let's talk about nonverbal communication.
Okay. I'm all ears. I think body language is so fascinating. I think you can say so much, even more than words sometimes.
You're so right. Our body language communicates so much, both to others and to ourselves. So that's why the next technique is all about confident body language.
Okay. So even if I don't feel super confident on the inside,
Yeah,
but if I act like I do, like with my body language, it can actually help me feel more confident.
absolutely. That's the mind-body connection in action.
I love it. So what are some things I can do?
Well, stand tall, keep your shoulders back, make eye contact,
Mm-hmm.
try to maintain a relaxed facial expression.
Okay.
Your brain actually interprets those signals as confidence.
So it's like a feedback loop. Your body language influences your brain, and your brain influences your confidence. That's amazing.
It really is. And the best part is it's something you can consciously control and practice.
I'm definitely going to pay way more attention to my posture and body language now. I never realized how much of an impact it could have on my confidence.
Right. It's like a game changer.
It really is. Okay, so we've talked about mindset, we've talked about body language, but how about actually setting ourselves up for success in a more practical way?
Yeah, I love that. This next technique is all about small goals, big wins. The idea is that when you achieve even a small goal, it gives you this sense of accomplishment,
Oh, okay, yeah.
which then boosts your confidence and actually motivates you to tackle bigger challenges.
Okay, so instead of trying to like climb Mount Everest right away, I should maybe start by walking around the block.
I love that analogy.
Something a little more achievable.
Exactly. It's all about creating momentum and building confidence gradually. Think about
Yeah.
like training for a marathon.
Right. Yeah.
You wouldn't just go out and run 26 miles on your first day, right?
Yeah.
You'd start small and gradually increase the distance.
Right. Build up to it.
Confidence works the exact same way.
Oh, that's such a good point. We don't have to do everything perfectly right away. It's all about taking those small steps and celebrating the wins along the way.
Exactly. You got it. Every little victory, no matter how insignificant it might seem,
Mm-hmm.
it all adds up.
Yeah.
Your overall sense of confidence. And it empowers you to keep going.
Sometimes I get so caught up in the big picture that I forget to celebrate those small wins.
It's easy to do that. But if we can shift our focus to those small victories, it creates this like positive feedback loop
Yeah.
that just fuels our confidence and keeps us going.
Okay, this is amazing. This deep dive is so packed with useful stuff. I'm loving it. I feel like I already have so many things I can start using to feel more confident.
That's great.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to touch on something we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Remember how we said that everyone feels insecure sometimes?
Oh, yeah. That's so important to remember. That feeling of insecurity, it's universal.
Yeah.
It's so easy to feel alone in those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, everyone experiences self-doubt at some point. It's part of being human.
That is actually really comforting to hear. So even like super successful, confident looking people, they have moments where they feel insecure.
Absolutely. Confidence isn't about never feeling nervous or insecure. It's about pushing through those feelings and, taking action anyway.
Wow. That's a really good point.
And it's about recognizing that those feelings, they don't have to define us.
This is so reassuring. Just
Yeah.
knowing that everyone feels insecure sometimes,
Yeah.
it makes it a little easier to embrace those feelings and not let them hold me back.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about normalizing those feelings, recognizing that it's a normal part of the human experience.
Right.
We all have the power to choose how we respond to those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have the power to build our confidence over time.
It's a journey, not a destination, right?
It is. It absolutely is.
I'm so glad we talked about this. This has been such an empowering discussion so far. I feel like I'm already starting to see confidence in a whole new light.
That's amazing. I'm so glad to hear that. And, there's so much more to come. We'll continue this deep dive in our next session
Oh, great.
and explore even more techniques that can help you, feel confident and empowered in any situation.
Perfect. I can't wait.
Welcome back. When we left off, we were talking about how everyone feels insecure sometimes.
Yeah, it was such a relief to hear that.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
realize that even the most confident looking people have those moments of self-doubt.
I know. It's like we're all in this together, right?
Totally. It's like this permission slip to be human
Yeah.
and to embrace the fact that we are all like
Yeah.
works in progress.
Exactly. And, when you think about it, that shared experience, it can be really empowering. It kind of lets us, let go of the pressure to be perfect.
Right.
And just embrace the fact that we all have those, those quirks and vulnerabilities.
It's so freeing to realize that confidence isn't about like never feeling insecure.
Yeah.
It's about pushing through those feelings.
Yeah.
And showing up as our authentic selves,
I love that.
imperfections and all,
Yes. And you know what? I think that authenticity, it's often what makes us most relatable and magnetic.
Totally.
Like we're giving ourselves permission to be human with all of our,
Yeah.
our quirks and vulnerabilities.
I love that. It's not about fitting into some mold of what we think confidence should look like.
Right.
It's about owning who we are,
Absolutely.
strengths, weaknesses, and all,
Mhm.
and just allowing ourselves to shine.
So well said. And when we do that,
Yeah.
when we really own who we are, I think it opens us up to more genuine connection and growth.
That's a good point. Vulnerability can be scary, but it can also lead to really amazing things.
Absolutely. It's like vulnerability is the birthplace of courage.
I love that. This deep dive has been such a great reminder that confidence is a skill we can all develop. It's just like a muscle.
Yeah, exactly. And just like any muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Yeah, use it or lose it.
Right. The key is to just be consistent with these techniques.
Mhm.
Keep practicing, even when you don't really feel like it.
That's a good point. It's
Yeah.
like building any positive habit, right?
Totally.
You have to keep showing up, even when it's hard.
Yeah,
And eventually, those small changes can really add up to something amazing.
absolutely. It's like, replacing those old negative self-talk patterns with more empowering ones.
Right.
And taking action even when you're feeling a little, a
Yeah.
little shaky.
I feel that. It's not always easy to push through those feelings of doubt.
It's not. But, over time, those small changes,
Mm-hmm.
they can lead to a really profound shift in how we see ourselves and how we navigate the world.
Totally. Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive here, I'm curious to hear from you.
Yeah.
If you had to pick just one of these techniques to use right now, what would it be?
That's a great question. If I had to pick just one, I think I'd go with the power pose.
The power pose.
That's for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's such a simple thing,
Yeah.
but it's so effective,
Yeah, I love that one too.
It's like an instant boost of confidence.
Like you're sending a message to your brain and your body.
Yes.
Like, hey, we got this. We're powerful. And you can do it anywhere too, right?
Totally. You can do it in the elevator, in the bathroom, waiting in line at the grocery store.
It's like a secret weapon.
It really is. What about you? What's your go-to confidence booster?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's all about focusing on my strengths. Like we talked about earlier with the strength spotlight technique.
Yes.
It's so easy to get caught up in our weaknesses or the things we feel insecure about.
Yeah.
But when I take a moment to really appreciate everything I've already accomplished
Mm-hmm.
and all the amazing qualities I have, it's like this instant confidence boost.
Yeah. It's like remembering who you are.
Exactly. And it helps me approach challenges with more, courage and self-belief.
I love that. That's so powerful.
I think it is.
And, it's a good reminder for all of us
Yeah,
that confidence, it really comes from within.
it does.
It's about recognizing our own worth and our own power.
Absolutely. And that's something no one can take away from us.
So true.
This has been such an amazing conversation.
It has.
I feel so much more equipped to handle whatever life throws my way.
That's great.
And I hope our listeners do too.
Me too.
It's so inspiring to think about, stepping outside our comfort zones and trying new things. It reminds me that confidence isn't about like never being afraid. It's about feeling those butterflies and taking action anyway.
Exactly. It's almost like those feelings of fear or uncertainty, they can actually be a good sign, like a sign that you're stretching yourself, that you're growing.
Yeah, I like that. And it's amazing how those like simple techniques that we've been talking about can actually help us to reframe those feelings.
Totally. It's like giving yourself this mental toolkit, right?
Yeah. To handle those situations.
Yeah, for navigating like all those different situations that life throws at us.
Absolutely. Okay, so before we wrap up our deep dive, I thought it might be helpful to do a quick recap. For our listener, if they're looking for a quick confidence boost, what's one technique that you would recommend?
Oh, that's a good question. If I had to pick just one, I would say strike a power pose.
Power pose, okay.
Yeah, just for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but it's so effective at like shifting your physiology,
Okay.
boosting those feelings of confidence and power.
And it's something you can do anywhere, right?
Literally anywhere. You can do it in the elevator, the bathroom, waiting in line at the grocery store.
Love it. A secret weapon.
It is. What about you? What would you recommend?
Ooh, good question. If I'm struggling with negative self-talk, which I do a lot, I think for me, it's really helpful to replace those thoughts with positive affirmations.
Yeah.
It might feel silly at first, but I really think it works. The more you repeat those positive statements to yourself, the more you start to believe them.
Yeah, it's like retraining your brain.
Right. To focus on what you can do, your strengths.
Yeah.
Not getting bogged down by what you think you can't.
I love that. And don't forget about, deep controlled breathing.
Ah, yes, our favorite breathing exercises.
It's amazing how much of a difference that can make.
It really is. It's like, instant relaxation. Just a few deep breaths.
It's like hitting the reset button on your whole system.
Okay, any final words of wisdom for our listeners before we wrap up?
Well, I just want to remind everyone that confidence is not about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes.
Right.
It's about embracing those imperfections, learning from our experiences.
That's so true. Confidence is a journey.
It is a journey, not a destination. And it's a journey we all take together.
This deep dive has been such a great reminder that we all have the power to boost our confidence and live the lives we want.
I agree. It's been so fun chatting with you about all this.
Me too. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us. We hope you feel inspired to embrace your unique strengths and step into the world with more confidence.
Until next time.